going on, guys? This is Burrs, and I'm here to show you the Smith Wesson M&P45 cleaning video in high definition. First, let's make sure our gun is safe. I'm going to take the magazine out. We want to rack the chamber and get out the bullet we had in there. Rack the chamber a few times, and there you go. Rack the slide back. Lock it into place. Flip this lever down. Put the slide back forward. Keep that down in the front there. Pull the trigger, and off comes the slide. At that point, what I'll do is I'll take the spring out. Guide rod spring. Take the barrel out, and you've disassembled the slide at that point. What I'll do from this point on is I'll put some patches in the end of the barrel, put some cleaner in there, and I'll move that around and I'll set that off to the side to let it soak. Take some paper towels and I'll put the parts on there, and I will spray them down with my cleaner. Now this is a new cleaner I'm using, corrosion-x. I'm using it at the advice of a fellow YouTuber. So we'll see how that does today. So at that point, what I'll do is I'll spray a little of this corrosion-x on my brush here. That's a little too much, but that'll work. And I'll go ahead and go down the slide here. Now what you want to keep in mind is you don't want to get a lot or any around the firing pin area right here. So I'll go down the slide in different areas. And I'll go around the firing pin, but you want to make sure to clean that very, very thoroughly and make sure that that's dry when you're done. And you go down the inside of the slide here, clean everything off, gently brush it off on the chamber ejection area, and I'll let that sit for a minute. At that point, I'll turn my attention to the bottom part of the gun, at which point I'll start cleaning all the metal parts, particularly with the same brush that I used on the slide, because there's still cleaner on it. There's no reason to really put more cleaner on. So you just want to brush it on like that. Brush down the slides. Any part that you see it's metal, give it a good scrubbing. I would normally use shop towels, but I don't have any more except for that one, and that's going to be my finishing one. So you just want to go down through and get the majority of that dirt off. Then you can take a Q-tip and go down the finer points of the gun. And you have to be careful with Q-tips not to let any of the cotton residue in the gun before you go out and start firing the weapon. It could cause a malfunction, something along the lines of that. can move the trigger back. You can see that there. Move that trigger back and get inside this cavity right here. Dirt definitely hides in there. And we'll turn our attention now to what we were working on earlier. Now you want to take your barrel bore brush here, put that on your rod, and you can take a paper towel and hold your barrel there. And you want to run through a couple passes with your barrel brush. You can wipe off what we put on there earlier to clean. Then you want to take your brush again and you want to scrub that down, get in all the nooks and crannies. And then wipe it back down. At that point, you want to take your rod, take off your brush, put on your patch runner, put some patches on. Even though these are smaller than what I truly need, I'll just use a few of them. And you can twirl it if you want, whatever that does for you. If you're using smaller ones, you want to flare the ends like such so you get the maximum coverage area. And you just want to run these through until you get a nice clean patch. I'll go ahead and wipe down my barrel as good as I can. And once that's done, I'll go ahead and take a Q-tip and go through just the little areas here to make sure all the cleaner's off. Now the good thing about this CorrosionX is it's a CLP. So it's a lubricant as well, so that'll absorb into the metal and give you protection as well. And I'll turn my attention to the slide. Now we've already scrubbed it. Now we're just going to go down through and kind of wipe off all the cleaner that we had on there. It sat on there and it's gotten as much of the dirt off as we can expect it to. A lot of people use Ballistol, a lot of people use CorrosionX and Hoppes. There's nothing wrong with any of them. They're all good cleaners in my opinion. What's the best? Well, I always use Ballistol. I'm just testing out this CorrosionX at the current time to see if it's something I want to use or not. And the one thing I noticed with it is it's very slippery and difficult to get off. Pretty much stays wherever you put it. So that's a positive. The rail's clean there. Like I said, you want to get around this firing pin area, get that super dry if you're going to clean around there. Ejection port area. Just slightly go over extractor. This is an external extractor. Lightly go over that with the Q-tip. Make sure that's dry. And everything to be super dry. I'll bump the camera because that's how professionals do it. Alright, so I'll take care of the slide. That is now ready for oiling. Now I'll turn my attention to the spring. This is real simple. Then all you do, you take a paper towel. Shop towel is what I prefer, but all I got with me today is paper towel. And you go ahead and you just run it over there like this. Put a fresh towel down for oiling. It's one thing I noticed with this corrosion-x is once that gets on something like the fabric I have underneath here, it starts to get everything all oily again. It doesn't go away very easily, so that's a positive if you're looking to use it as an oil. We'll take the slide, bring that back in our pitcher, and we will oil it. We're using MPRO-7 LPX. What do you want to do? Very, very simple. Semi-automatic weapons do not need that much oil. So what you want to do is one drop, put it in the middle. And I'll take a Q-tip and I'll run it down both ways. Same thing on the other side. One drop. Now on this gun, you gotta be a little bit careful around that firing pin. What I'll normally do is I'll put it up here around this area and let it slide back down. But that's why you don't want to have excessive oil, because that will come down into that safety pin, or firing pin area. Now what I'll also do is I'll put one strip of oil right there. Not there, that was a mistake, but you put it up here on that metal part, because that is metal against metal. What I'll also do is I'll put on the bottom part of the slide, let's put a film. And that's all the oil really acts as, is a film. Put it in the, put a little bit on the end here. And what I'll do is I'll go inside the barrel hole on the slide, just to give that a little extra protection. And that is it. That's all you need to do on the slide. You don't want excessive oil. We'll turn our attention to the bottom, the lower part, and this is very simple as well. You got 4 points. One on the front, and 2 on the back. That's probably just a tad bit too much oil. And all those metal parts just with a film. What we'll do is we'll take the barrel, we'll put a drop on it. See how small it is? You just want to rub it around. You don't want to see, you want to see a slight glaze, but you do not want to see excessive oil. What I do is on that little part on the inside there, I'll just put a little bit, I'll take my Q-tip and run it on the inside like that. And for the spring, let's put a dab on my finger here. And I'll work it in like that. You really don't want much on the spring, if nothing at all. Now we're ready for reassembly. Now before you reassemble, you can go down the gun and look for parts where you have maybe excessive cleaner on the polymer. It's easier to get to those parts now than it is after you get the gun together. We're going to go ahead and start with the slide by taking the barrel, putting it slide like that, with the flat side towards the back. Put that inside. Like such. Now what you want to do is line up your weapon like such. See those grooves? You want to line those up. All the way to the back. Now you still have to make sure that this lever is flipped down for you to get the slide back. And flip the slide up. That slide is not going either way. One main reason is probably because this lever is not down all the way. Now at that point, what I'll do is I'll take a paper towel and go over the gun, the outside here, rub in a little bit of the cleaner on the outside of the slide for preventative maintenance reasons. So for the M&P45, that's all you gotta do to clean your gun. Remember, don't use too much oil or you're gonna get a bunch of jams. You wanna have it nice and easy. So if you guys have any questions on this, let me know. If you need to know what supplies were used, take a look in the description box. And until next time, later.